Over the last 5 years, I've made a lot of mistakes. And these are the 6 things that either help me improve my art or help me improve my process so I could do more art. And I think they'll be helpful for you also. So the first thing I did was create these acrylic pour containers. Now this container cost me about $15 total. It could have been less, but I spent a little extra money on these closet shelf organizers just because I wanted a nice flat surface to put my paintings on. But being able to get out my canvases, put them on here and immediately pour without having to clean up, without having to lay down plastic or anything like that, it made pouring so much easier that I wanted to do it more. And this is just made out of a concrete paint mixing tub. It was like $5 to $8 at Lowe's. And I have a video about how I made that. And also this one, which I made with a few extra bars that have threads. And this actually has a nut on both sides so I could adjust it and tighten it up. And this was a Christmas tree ornament organizer that I just bought at Walmart. And I have a video for this also, which I'll link in the description below. But being able to quickly put out my stuff, I just mixed my paints and left them in here, so if they spilled, I didn't have to worry about it. I could put my canvases on top. This one I used for the smaller canvases because these are a little closer together. But it made my workflow so much easier. And when I didn't worry about having to set up and then at the end clean up, I was able to pour more and enjoy it more. So the second tip is very much related. I purchased a bunch of Lolivefe silicone mats. Now I have these circle ones that I use on my cake spinner and sometimes to do videos, and then I have my huge mats that I have here on my custom built table. And I actually use 2 mats. I use one at the top here and then one down below. Let me turn my light on here. Where after I'm done, I just set my paintings down here to dry. It makes it so much easier. So the nice thing about these are after I paint, this is the painting I did last week for a peacock painting, you can just grab this, pull it up, clean it off, and even better, my 10-year-old daughter loves to peel this off. So when I have a lot of paint here, I just ask her to come peel it off and we can throw this away, or we can use this for Kobachan jewelry or making other things out of the skins from your acrylic pour. Same thing, I did my last video was about Artist Loft premix paints, and those paints, this is the drips off of that painting, and they just come right off, super easy. Again, any time I can make the process easier, I'll want to paint more, and being able to just come in, put my painting down, do the painting. I could leave it here to dry. I happen to have my lower shelf, so I can leave it to dry there and then do more paintings up here, but it makes life so much easier. Now the third thing is a scale. I've seen a lot of pouring artists that can't replicate the results that they get because they're mixing paint by hand and not getting the same mixture, the same consistency as a painting that worked for them. So I actually use a scale. I measure how much paint I'm using, I measure how much pouring medium I'm using, and sometimes how much water, although the water depends on the paint and the medium. But it makes it so much easier for you to replicate your pours, and it makes it so much easier to do the ratios that a lot of us acrylic pour artists talk about in our videos. I think this thing was $15 on Amazon, one of the best purchases I ever made for my acrylic pouring. Again, I will link the one I would buy in the description below. Now before we get to tip number 4, if this video has been helpful so far, please paint that like button. It does help this video get spread to other acrylic pour artists that need some additional help. And tip number 4 is to take studies of what you're doing. I keep a lot of notes. You probably can't read a lot of that because my handwriting's horrible. And I keep these little spreadsheets that I've done. I keep sometimes, this is my samples when I'm doing swipes, color combinations. So I like to keep track of what I'm doing, and especially when I'm doing a pour over and over and over again. I can't tell you, this is from the secret recipe course from Olga Sobi, and this is like my 10th or 11th painting I did, but because I keep track of the paintings that I do, each one of them gets better and better. And I just love being able to not make the same mistakes over and over because I look at my notes previous to doing a pour. And for me, because I have all these videos, they act as my notes, but I know that a lot of you guys don't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. So I've put together an acrylic pouring journal page where you can attach a picture, you can add the paints that you use, the pouring mediums that you use, and all the different notes, things you'd like to do different next time, things you liked about the painting, so that you can have it as a quick reference the next time you go to do an acrylic pour with those same colors or the same pouring medium or the same technique. And there's a link to that journal in the description below. The next tip is to get yourself a good level. I use this every time I pour to make sure that my paintings, and I like this little window that I have at the top, to make sure that my paintings are as level as I can get them before I pour. I can't tell you, even a couple of weeks ago, I did not level my painting, and one of my jumbo push pins was out a little bit farther, so it was pushed up, and I had a beautiful painting, but it ran off the edge as it was drying, and I kind of ruined it. So make sure that you have a level surface that you're painting from, and a cheap dollar store level will work great for this. We just want to make sure we're in between the two lines in both directions. And if you have a second place where you put your paintings to dry, like I do down here, make sure that they are the same level, because you don't want this one to be level, but when you put the painting down here, it's not level, and then you have the same problem. So getting a level is very important for an acrylic pour artist. So the last tip is to keep track of the light where you are pouring and also where you're going to display the painting. The reason why this came up recently for me is because I've started to sell my paintings, and I paint in my studio, and I have two of these lights that are adjustable, and light doesn't just come in one color. You can have a warm light like this, and see how the yellows kind of got darker and some of the other colors change. You can have a daylight like this, and you can have a more blue light like this. And also where you're going to display the painting once it's dry will change based on the light that you have in that area. So you'll want to make sure that you understand, if you are going to sell the painting or you are going to display it somewhere, that you know what type of light you'll have there so that you can determine what colors you want to use. You know, if you have warm light, you want to use less yellows because they will get darker as you go. Or if you have brighter, you might want to use less blue and more other colors, because the blue is really going to shine a lot brighter in the very high Kelvin light. So this is, I think this one here is 6400. And that's the measurement that light bulbs have them. This one is more like 3500, and this one is more like 2000. And the last bonus tip is I want to save you some money. So I have a video here that I've prepared that will show you which types of pouring cost the most per ounce to make and which type costs less, so you can do more practice and be able to perfect your pouring techniques as quickly as possible and as cheaply as possible.